This is Stormmouse03 continuing my hardcore difficulty walkthrough, and this is the second part of Chapter 2. And so you start off in this helicopter with this gun with laser sights, and something that I did not know while I was doing this, but that someone pointed out on one of my other videos, is that you can actually take the attachments off of these things. And I'm playing on the Xbox, so on the Xbox it's the back button. Will take off your attachment. And when I did this in New York Minute mode, I did that here, and it made it so much easier to be able to see where I was aiming, because I really hate the laser sights on this game, because I can never tell where my bullet's going to go. As you can see, I just sort of shoot around where I think the person is going to be. So that's really it for this section. You know, just use your bullet time, try to keep her alive. If you have painkillers, use them, because you're going to lose them all after this section. So don't worry about conserving them right now. And this section's not too bad. So I was talking about in the other part of this chapter about some things that I've noticed that are different on hardcore, and the biggest thing that I noticed was it didn't seem as challenging as I thought it might be. And I think that has to do with a few things. I think the biggest thing is that this was the third time I played through this game, and I knew what was going to happen. I knew what to expect. I knew where enemies were going to come out. I had my strategy for the playthrough, and that really helps a lot. I think that hard is more difficult than I thought it was going to be, as kind of a middle of the pack level of difficulty, or so it seemed. And then after you get through the game the first time on hard, everything else doesn't seem quite as bad, because you've probably died enough times on there to know what sections you have difficulty with, and if you're doing it on old school or hardcore, some of the sections you'll have trouble with that you didn't have trouble with on hard, but a lot of the times you won't have the same amount of trouble that you did the first time through, just because you've died enough to learn what you're messing up on. And so that was the first thing that I noticed. It didn't seem as challenging as I thought it might be. I mean, people do deal a lot of damage, and so you sort of have to get used to that. But once you get used to how much damage you can take, you can strategize and plan accordingly. And there are only really a few spots that are pretty frustrating on this level of difficulty here. So now that I'm done with the annoying laser sights that I will never have to use ever again, because I will be taking those off from here on in, you just deal with these guys, and once you get this second rocket dude, you're done with this helicopter section. And so I'm gonna talk about what I think of the New York Minute mode, because I've been trying to do that now. Well, I'll pause that. So make sure you pick up the 2 painkillers there, because you do lose all of your painkillers once you fall off the helicopter. I guess they fall out of its pockets or something. I don't know. I'm just making that up so that it has better continuity, but anyway, you just want to stay here and kind of creep around this corner, and this is pretty much, I'm going to use the same strategy here that I did for old school. I'm going to creep around this corner, I'm going to pick guys off, I'm going to use bullet time, and this section isn't too bad. So, on the New York Minute mode, I don't like it. I really don't like it, because I'm sort of a slow, methodical player, and I like to go and like pick up weapons and pick up painkillers and spend time doing that, and you just can't. You can't do that kind of playing on New York Minute. The difficulty, I believe, is medium, so you don't have to worry about taking as much damage. But people will put you in last stand if you are sort of getting yourself out of cover a lot. And in a lot of spots, the best strategy that I've found for it is to shoot dodge a lot, because you can shoot dodge even if you don't have bullet time built up. So you can sort of shoot dodge around a section, but you want to be careful about doing that in places where you're going to land on the ground if you're not able to kill every single enemy that's like right around you. When you land on the ground and Max takes so long to get up, you can really get railed if you haven't killed everyone while you've done a shoot dodge and haven't dodged yourself into a position where they have a hard time hitting you. So you want to be careful with that, but I don't know, the amount of times on there that I have failed the chapter because, you know, I went into last chance and either the guy was in cover or I couldn't see him, or I went into last chance and I didn't have any bullets left in the gun. That's a huge issue. Or something random just happened. But I found myself getting really paranoid there about the time, because that's just not how I like to play. I like to take my time through the sections, and I've never really been a, you know, shoot people fast and move kind of person. And so, oh, and you'll see I'm blind firing around this corner a lot, and it's a super effective way of taking out these guys. So, without exposing yourself too much to being able to get hit by them. So, in any case, I don't know. I like to play sort of this way, and I think I kind of screwed myself for New York Minute a little bit by doing these harder difficulties before I went on to that, because I was so used to being careful and picking my shots wisely and just moving slowly through the chapter, and you just can't play like that on there because time continues even when you're not in combat, which is something that I didn't like. And so you have to really constantly be moving, and a lot of times I don't have time to go pick up painkillers when I know that there are some in an area. And I just don't have time to go get them because there's not enough time on that clock, and it is moving. At any time that you're not in a cutscene, it's going. And so, I don't know, it's counter to the way that I like to play, and it hasn't been really fun for me, but I'm going to keep trying to do it because I do like to challenge myself, and but I can't do it for too long because I just get really frustrated with it. So I might keep people updated on any strategies that I come across for that mode as we continue to play through, as I continue to record these commentaries for this. So these are the last few guys. And once you kill these last couple of dudes, you will be finished with this chapter. So I'm being super careful right now because I really do not want to do that entire section over again, because the real challenge of this part right here is that you don't get a checkpoint until after you kill the last guy that's around the corner downstairs. So I'm like, he's gonna die. I don't know why I was being so careful here. I had a painkiller, so anyway, he's the last dude, and then you're finished with the chapter. But if you die right there, it's all the way back to the helipad. So be careful with those last few guys. So thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.
Pretty soon she'd start wishing she